When you see an injustice, you should speak up. We only eat animal flesh because we enjoy how they taste. Should all black people go vegan? Yes. Being a black vegan can be a way to lead by example and to lead the charge in how human beings can behave or refine behavior. Our ancestors suffered greatly. Black people have been shown all kinds of ways on how not to treat human beings. It's very sadistic. I don't think anybody would want to volunteer to go through the black experience, American chattel slavery, and go through all that cruelty enacted on black people worldwide. When examining the cruelty that goes on in animal agriculture, when you sit down and watch slaughterhouse footage, you just know something's not right with this. We are monsters to these animals. And thinking from the animal's point of view, I wouldn't want to be slaughtered and tortured in this manner, or even humanely. There are many similarities between American chattel slavery and animal agriculture, racism and speciesism. Although American slavery was the law of the land, black people defied the system every day. There were slave uprisings, many slave uprisings, battles for abolition. The one difference is that animals can't rise up and fight their condition, nor can they counter speciesism. So they need us to be abolitionists. They need us to see things from their point of view. They need us to realize that we don't need to eat their body parts. It's completely unnecessary to eat their dead corpses. They need us to fight for them, because all that's going to happen with the animals is them being bred into existence, raised in confined factory farms under the most horrific conditions. They're killed, they're dismembered, they're packaged up, and they're sent off to your local Kroger, Target, Walmart, all for a few moments of taste pleasure. And then we ship them out.
For those of you who don't know, these are called chitlins. Chitlins are pig intestines. I call them booty noodles. Now, I don't care how much you clean them. I don't care how much hot sauce or herbs and spices you put on these. I'm not eating pig intestines, booty noodles, where shit used to be in these. It's not a good time. Folks, we have options now. Our ancestors didn't have options. We have options now. We can do better.
As a black man, I'd like to move through this world and not be discriminated against, not be disenfranchised. I don't want my rights violated. I don't want to be harmed or victimized. I don't want to be owned. I don't want to be exploited. I like to retain my bodily autonomy. I like to have all the freedom I can. So, if I want these things for myself, and I want to remain morally consistent, I should want these things for somebody that has the capacity to feel, suffer, and has the will to live, just like me. Make no mistake, animals are people. It's somebody inside of there. And they're not just some table or chair just walking around. They have consciousness, they're sentient beings, they have a will to live. It just feels, or it is, wildly inappropriate for me to sit down and support a slave system when I eat 3 times a day. There's some controversy in the use of the words slavery and Holocaust and animal activism. But what the animals are going through is literally the definition of experiencing slavery or going through a Holocaust. We have to bear responsibility for our actions in purchasing food, clothing, and entertainment. Once we are all aware of the fouls of animal agriculture, we understand that animals are sentient beings. They feel pain, they suffer. They have their own personality. They have varying emotions. They have a will to live. And there's no way around the fact that Buying and consuming meat and dairy is straight up animal cruelty. You vote with your money and pay the assassin to breed these animals into existence, raise them in confinement in factory farms, as I said before, and killed, and their corpses eaten. It's very sadistic. In my opinion, I believe, seeing the parallels between racism and speciesism, we have a duty to be vegan and not just plant-based. It's the least we can do. We understand the power of the boycott, acting individually for a political purpose, so we can reject products arising from inhumane or cruel practices. Consumers have rejected cotton and sugar produced by slave states before the Civil War. Products from South Africa when apartheid granted minority whites complete political and economic control. California grapes because they have been harvested by non-unionized workers. And clothing imported from sweatshops. When you make purchases, you vote with your dollars. You fund the abuse. When you consume the standard American diet full of meat, dairy, and eggs, when you go ahead and purchase that leather jacket or get those fresh Timberlands, you believe that some animals are less morally important than humans, and that some species of non-human animals are more important than others. Adapting a vegan diet means rejecting cruelty to animals and environmental destruction. It's the world's most simple solution to a host of complex problems. According to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, appropriately planned vegan diets are healthful, nutritionally adequate, and provide health benefits in the prevention and treatment of certain diseases. With better food choices, more evidence, information, and a growing appreciation for the health benefits of plant foods, the world is becoming more vegan friendly. So we're running out of excuses while we're still eating animal body parts. Being vegan isn't about being perfect. We value animal lives, but we don't devalue human lives. We completely understand that simply existing, there's going to be residual and inadvertent harm done to animals. We have to share this planet, all of us. Being vegan can be very passive, but it's okay to be somewhat of an activist. You don't have to donate to vegan charities. You don't have to run up in meat markets and steakhouses screaming meat is murder, causing a scene, which I don't mind that activism at all. The gravity of the situation is pretty dire, and people just don't know or don't care. You could be whoever you want to be as a vegan. You could be Christian, you could be Muslim, you could be Buddhist, you could be a womanist, you could be a Black Lives Matter activist, and still be vegan. You don't have to change who you are. You don't have to be associated with Peter. Veganism can be a way to heal and empower the Black community. I believe our ancestors would want us to be vegan, unabashedly. They would want us to examine traditions and adapt to the times. They want us to spread the word about plant-based eating. Plant-based eating has a long history in the Black community, and we are a fast-growing demographic of vegans. And I'm ecstatic about this. I just would like to see more of my people eating plants, putting the animal flesh down, and letting these animals live out their lives. A lot of Black people fall into this trap, and we think because we're young, we have a great body, we're athletic, we look healthy, and that means that we are healthy. But our internal health could be failing us because of our food choices. This is why children can have health complications that usually afflict adults. Childhood obesity, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, blood disorders. There's been atherosclerotic plaque discovered in fetuses. So God bless our mothers, but a lot of us are beginning life with fatty streak formations that's diet induced. Take a real good look at the definition of veganism. To declare yourself a vegan is to ascribe to the idea that animal abuse is immoral and wrong. Animal exploitation is wrong. You can't be a so-called vegan for a year or so and then go back to using animal products because you never were a true vegan. You just tried out a plant-based diet for a little minute. But you didn't connect to the anti-animal abuse and social justice stance of being vegan. It's just like getting a job as a CPS caseworker or investigation, and after 2 years on the job, you go home and start abusing your own child. It's like, it was just a job for you. It's just a paycheck. You really didn't take the job serious. You didn't take child safety serious because you started doing it on your own. There are no ex-vegans, all right? There's really no such thing as a vegan diet because diets are so nuanced. People want to achieve different health objectives. So when you say a vegan diet, you know what they don't eat, but you don't know what they do eat. You can still be unhealthy as a vegan. But whole foods plant-based diet is the healthiest diet on the planet. I'll show you a few quotes from some black vegans who are feeling the same way. Below, I have some links to a few documentaries, Dominion, other vegan resources, and if you're curious about this lifestyle, which you should be, everybody should be vegan. It's the right thing to do. To support the channel, go ahead and hit the like button for me. Comment below on what you think about this topic. You're all beautiful people. I'll see you later.